Good evening and thank you for joining me on Black News Tonight. I'm Marc Lamont Hill. Tonight, we start with Vice President Kamala Harris and her first foreign trip since taking office. Today she's in Mexico, but yesterday she met with Guatemala's president. Yes, during her visit she had a direct message for Guatemalans looking to migrate to the United States. In recent months, record numbers of people, mostly from Central America, have come to the U.S. border, and they've come to the U.S. border with Mexico, many of them seeking asylum. They're fleeing violence, they're escaping corruption, and here's what Madam Vice President had to say to them.
At the same time, I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come. The United States will continue to enforce our laws and secure our border. There are legal methods by which migration can and should occur.
And just moments ago, the Vice President gave an address in Mexico where she seemingly backtracked her stance on immigration.
On the issue of migration, as we have discussed a bit during this trip, it is a complicated issue. It is complex. There are many factors at play when we look at migration historically and currently. It is also an issue that we must tackle then at every level.
The Vice President's words yesterday to Guatemalans saying, "Do not come, do not come," were quite troublesome. First of all, when you're talking about coming to the border seeking asylum, we don't have the luxury, we don't have the right, we don't have the authority to say do not come. Coming to the border and seeking asylum is a right that is enshrined both in national law, it's also enshrined in international law, and it's also good old-fashioned common sense. If you're in a place where you're facing persecution or violence or considerable unsafety of any sort, it makes perfect sense to seek asylum at the nearest place. Now, some will say yes, but the United States has a responsibility to protect its borders. We have to protect our citizens, our economy, our safety. And all Madam Vice President Harris was doing was saying, don't come here with your problems. Well, guess what? The United States created those problems. For decades, the United States has destabilized Guatemala, whether it's through corporations like the fruit company, whether it's through supporting regimes that were trying to topple democratic regimes, whatever the case may be, whether it was trade agreements, the United States has systematically destabilized Guatemala, all of Central America, all of Latin America. We could look at the Middle East. We could look at a lot of places, the continent of Africa. We cannot continue to disrupt places. We cannot continue to tear places down. We cannot continue to set countries on fire and then tell people when they run out of the fire and run to safety, what are you doing here? You can't have it both ways. You can't create the mess and then get mad when we're asked to clean it up. So, Madam Vice President, your words were hurtful. They were incorrect. They were in contradiction with international law, but they were also just deeply, deeply saddening. Because when Donald Trump was saying, don't come, we were outraged. When Donald Trump said, don't cross the border or else we're going to lock you up or send you back, we said he was a monster. But we have to have the same intensity. We got to keep that same energy when it's the Biden administration doing it. We got to keep the same energy when a Democrat is violating not just the law or convention or policy promises, but just good old-fashioned decency and ethics and humanity. Now, I know some of y'all out there don't want to criticize the vice president, but as others have said, we have 3 jobs to do for Vice President Kamala Harris. We have to respect her. We respect her job. We respect the office to the extent that we respect imperial office. We respect her as a black woman. We respect her as a person. We have to show her respect, and we have to demand that other people show her respect. And when the world comes after Kamala Harris, which they will, and some of the criticisms are racist, some are misogynist, some are misogynoir, we have to protect her. We have to defend Kamala Harris against unfair attacks. We have to defend her from the right. We have to defend her from the sexists and the patriarchs and the misogynists. We got to protect her from anybody who has an unprincipled or unreasonable argument against her. We got to respect her. We got to protect her, but we also have to correct her, as we do all politicians. All politicians must be challenged. We didn't vote for black politicians so that black politicians could do us wrong. We didn't vote to create an environment where a black vice president echoes the same narrative as the Republicans. That's not what we voted for. We voted for a change. Not a change in driver, but a change in direction. And so today, when you hear the vice president backtracking just a little bit, it's because we spoke out. It's because we spoke up. So let's keep doing it. Let's keep the pressure on. Again, we're going to respect her. We're going to protect her. But every once in a while, all these politicians got to be corrected as well. All right, on to the next story. The fallout over UNC's refusal to grant Nikole Hannah-Jones tenure continues. A renowned black chemist is now withdrawing from a UNC faculty search. Bioanalytical chemist Lisa Jones withdrew her candidacy to work at the chemistry department last week. In response, the department sent a letter to administrators supporting Jones and warning of the negative effects this tenure decision could have on the university, including the ability to recruit diverse faculty. The department has spent 2 years trying to recruit Dr. Jones. She would have been only the 4th black faculty member recruited by the chemistry department in the university's 203-year history. The letter ends with a rhetorical question and an urgent call to action. It says, how are we, the faculty at this university, supposed to defend our own values when the institution we represent does not uphold them? We in chemistry wholeheartedly add our voices to a growing chorus and urge the Board of Trustees to hold a vote on Ms. Hannah-Jones's tenure case immediately. In response to Dr. Lisa Jones's decision to withdraw her candidacy, Nikole Hannah-Jones took to Twitter. She said, I never met this sister, Dr. Lisa Jones, but the solidarity shown to me by black women in particular during this crucible is something I will never forget. All right. Amid growing criticism of law enforcement officials, body cameras are about to become mandatory for all federal agents, reversing a long-standing policy. According to a Wall Street Journal report, the Department of Justice sent a memo yesterday mandating agents with the FBI, U.S. Marshal Service, the DEA, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives to wear body cameras and turn them on whenever they execute a warrant, issue an arrest, or engage in pre-planned operations. According to the report, agencies must come up with their body cam plan within the next 30 days. The plan includes where body cam data will be stored, when the public can see the footage, and at what point the agents will be required to turn on the body cameras. Be sure to join the conversation. We want to hear from you. Just make sure you head over to BNC's Instagram and Twitter pages. Let us know how you feel. Be sure to check out the website, bnc.tv. You can weigh in there too.